convinced us that we were good enough to do it all. He set the hardest schedule that we didn't play anybody below a 3. We were 2A. We didn't play anybody below 3A all year before district, and the only 4 losses we had were to 4A schools. So he believed in playing the best teams you could find. But anyway, we ended up 12-0 in district. We won every game. We went to by-district, beat Childress. We went to regional at Texas Tech and beat Denver City. And was it Winners, the other team? I don't know. Yeah, Winners. And I'll talk about that in a second with this other presentation. But then we earned the right to go to the state tournament. And to me, and I've told people before, as a player for Coach Moore, it was not the destination of getting to state. It was the journey. I enjoyed it. I was in over 400 practices with him, and I enjoyed all of it. I just loved basketball, and he did too. And said, whatever he said, I believed him. It didn't matter what it was. I think, he was a real motivator. He motivated us. He also knew how to get the most out of our players. He could take you and point out your strengths. He was awfully good at pointing out your weaknesses. But he could make you really want to be better. And we lost that one game at state. We played really subpar game that game and didn't play like we were capable of. And I remember thinking after the game, I was just thinking, not that we lost the game, but that we let Coach Moore down. That was what was on my mind. I remember that. Then we came back the next day and won the 3rd place game when they did that. And one of Coach Moore's daughters is here, and I'd like her to come up. Tracy Moore, come up here, please. This is going to go into the Heritage Center, and I want to present this to Tracy. This is a picture of Coach Moore that my dad took at the state tournament. Daddy used to cut the heads off of everybody when he took pictures. he didn't this time, and it's all there. But I want to read to you what this says. It says, in honor of Coach Bob Moore, by the Phillips Blackhawk 1965 basketball team, regional champion, state semifinalist. He was not only a great coach and teacher, but a great innovator of the game of basketball. Coach Moore pushed us, encouraged us, and believed in us. It was through his motivation that we had the year of our lives in 1965 and became champions. And Tracy, I want to present this to you. Say happy to your dad. And Tracy has something she wants to say.
Well, first I want to thank you very much for allowing me to be here and for honoring my dad. I knew this would be hard. I didn't have any orange, so I made myself. There we go.
That's awesome.
I'm going to read a letter from my sister Becky, who graduated in 1971. Dear fellow Phillips Blackhawks, I really wish that I could be with you for this reunion. I had an invitation to accompany my stepson, his wife, and my 2 granddaughters to Australia, which I snapped up like the crocodiles that live here down under. So I've asked my sister Tracy to read you this letter in my absence. I went to my 40th reunion, yay, class of 71, 4 years ago, and it was truly special. Even though this year is not a milestone for my class, yay, class of 71. This year's reunion is just as special to me because the class of 65 is honoring its basketball team and my dad, Bob Moore, who coached them to the state tournament. All of us in my family are so proud of my dad and that team. We lived in White Deer when I was almost 3, during those golden years as a young child. And whenever Dad's team won a weekend tournament, he'd bring home the trophy and set it on top of the TV until he could take it to the school next Monday. For some reason at that young age, I thought a trophy was pronounced Murphy, and that term stuck. My family has always jokingly called them Murphys after that. I tell you this somewhat sappy story just so I can say that during the school year of 64-65, we had a heck of a lot of Murphys on our team. That was an incredible basketball team, and I know my dad was proud of them. When going through his stuff, looking for things relevant to the celebration, I can say that there were a gazillion basketball photos, but the majority were of that team, both of game action shots and of individual player photographs. And he had kept the orange with black letters, Texas shape patch, that each team member got to put on the sleeve of their ladder jackets that year. This is the only one that he kept. I turned 12 during that 64-65 school year, and although memory is not the best now, I remember that team more than many others. I had crushes on Danny Dawson and Mary Lewis, among others. And while I wanted to be the girlfriend of those boys, I suspected that Tracy wanted to be those boys. All kidding aside, I remember that every game was exciting and that the excitement and electricity grew as they kept winning and winning, and then they finally went to state. Although they didn't get first, they played their hearts out, and I know my dad would still be talking about them if he were still here with us. He left us way too soon, and I so wish that he could be here today to join in your celebration. I lovingly salute him and the boys of the class of '65 basketball team. Thanks for the great memories. Go Blackhawks. Memory during that time period, and it was on a time when you guys were working out one day, and you were playing strictly half court, so Dad had let Robbie and I, my little brother, and whomever else was there, Morris, I think, Morris Kern, shoot baskets on the other end. And so he took a break, a water break or whatever, and you guys were all milling down here. And one of the guys yelled at me and said, "Tracy, come over here, I've been watching you shoot, you're pretty good." And so the guys kind of got around and they were talking to me and stuff, and well, they said, "Well, see what you got." And I almost positive it was Hank. He stepped back and he was bouncing the ball like this, saying, "Show me what you got." And I ran in and I slapped it away and I took it and I threw it in the basket. And the only reason I remember is Hank because of all the other guys giving him such a hard time after the fact. And anyway, I want to thank you so much. My mother loved this team as well. She and I were talking before I came down, and she said, "I wish you could come, just make sure everyone knows how much your daddy loved those boys." Thank you so much. For me, for Becky, for my brother Rob, my sister Mary Lou, and my mom Carol, it gives me great pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.